Counter me!
So welcome back, everybody, to another episode of What's Important Now, the podcast from the United States Border Patrol Academy. So as everybody knows, March is Women's History Month. And so this month here at the Academy, we're going to dedicate each of our podcasts to celebrating those special women in the lives of Border Patrol agents, the family members, the ones that put on the uniform each and every day, and celebrating their special deeds and their contributions to the United States Border Patrol and to our country. Now, when we think about who should we celebrate, who do we look up to, who should be emulated by others, it's not the fame, it's not wealth, it's not success. At the end of the day, those are just the byproducts, potential byproducts of the special acts and contributions that are made, large or small, in the lives of others. So today, we celebrate what it means to be a woman in our culture, the Border Patrol culture, and in our society, the law enforcement society. For each and every one of us, women have played a special role in our lives. They've been authority figures, they've been role models, they've been trailblazers. They're family members, they're teammates, they're loved ones. And we're very fortunate within the USBP family, the Green family. There are literally hundreds of great examples. We could have a podcast probably every day of the year for the entire year and have different women that we talk about, and each and every one of them will have special stories, special things that they've done, and special contributions that they've made to the United States Border Patrol and all of our families. So this month, we're recognizing 4 women that, in my mind, epitomize everything that Women's History Month is intended to celebrate. And for our first segment, we have a very tragic and very touching story that to me needs to be told to understand a certain type of individual, a certain type of family member that is so very important to us in law enforcement and in the Border Patrol. And that's our mom. And to do that today for part 1, we have Miss Javier Vega. And for those that know her, she's absolutely one of the sweetest and most devout women ever to be associated with the United States Border Patrol. But I'm here to tell you, she's also one of the strongest people you'll ever meet. Marie, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's great.
Now, you are joining us from South Texas.
Yes, La Feria, Texas.
How's the weather down there?
It's getting really nice.
Yep, starting to
Better
warm up.
than
Finally.
what we had just a couple of weeks ago.
Were you without power and water like everybody else was?
Oh, yes. 4 days without power. 1 day without water.
So you're our first guest for Women's History Month. And to get everybody familiar with what brought you to the radar, what brought you to the spotlight for all of us, I don't think there's a person in the U.S. Border Patrol that doesn't know your name, especially all the trainees that have gone through the academy. If you'll bear with me, I'd like to give them a little snapshot of your story. Marie is the mother of Javier Vega, who at 36 years old was a member of the United States Border Patrol. He grew up in La Feria, Texas. He was a devoted husband and loving father to 3 children. He was a military veteran with the United States Marine Corps. He graduated from the United States Border Patrol Academy with Class 745. He EOD'd February 11, 2008. His end of watch was August 3rd, 2014, after 6 years of service. And I'm going to tell you, real quick, his story. On Sunday, August 3rd, 2014, Border Patrol agent Javier Vega was shot and killed near Santa Monica, Texas, as he attempted to take a law enforcement action during a robbery while he was fishing with his wife, children, and parents. 2 illegal aliens approached them and attempted to rob him. Agent Vega was shot in the chest when he attempted to draw his weapon. His father was also shot and wounded as he returned fire at the men. Both men fled the scene, but were arrested a short time later. They were charged with capital murder, attempted capital murder, and other crimes, and it's believed that the same subjects had committed numerous similar robberies at the direction of a Mexican cartel. And both men had been previously deported on numerous occasions. Now, on September 20th of 2016, it was determined that in light of the information identified during the intensive investigation, which was completed by the Willacy County Sheriff's Office, that Agent Vega's actions were indicative of his law enforcement training and that he instinctively reacted, placing himself in harm's way to stop a criminal act and protect the lives of others, specifically his loved ones. As a result of that, his death was redetermined to have been in the line of duty. Now, I want you to imagine for a second. Put yourself in the place of his family that was there with him that day, and have your loved one step in harm's way to try to save your life and ultimately lay down his own right there in front of you. And imagine what it must be like and what you might go through, the feelings that you might experience. That is what Marie Vega lived on that day. And if that wasn't enough, what she has done since has absolutely been inspirational in the hearts and minds of each and every one of us that served with Harvey and that served with each and every person that has also laid down their lives in the line of duty with the United States Border Patrol. So losing a loved one, no matter what the circumstances, is absolutely one of our worst nightmares for each and every one of us. And being a family member, especially somebody as special as Harvey was, one can only imagine the pain and the turmoil that the Vega family went through on that day. The most special thing for us, though, is what they've done since then, and specifically what Marie has done. There's a lot of people that when something like this, something this tragic happens, they probably withdraw, disappear into their own little world and isolate themselves and not want anything to do with the people or the organization that surrounded their loved one, quite simply because it's just so painful and everything serves as a reminder. But that's not Marie, and that's not her family, and that's not what they decided to do. Instead, they drew strength from this tragedy, and they took it as an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of each and every one of us that put on a uniform and go out and do this job every day, to be there for our families and the families that send the men and women in uniform out to do this job each and every day. And that's what makes Marie special. That's what makes her such a great role model and subject matter for Women's History Month. Marie, I can't imagine what you went through, and I can see Harvey's picture behind you. I can see, and that I could close my eyes no matter where I'm at, and I can envision that picture because I've seen it so many times, and it resonates with each and every one of us. You remember, I was assigned to the Rio Grande Valley sector when Harvey was killed. I was actually, I don't know if you remember, but I got to go to your house with JR and the deputy chief shortly after that happened, and I remember watching you guys and what you were going through, and just stood in awe of the strength that you exhibited through all of that. What made you decide to turn this into a positive and make it a source of strength that we all could benefit from?
Well, I imagine each and every one of you being a loyal agent. I think about Harvey and how much he loved law enforcement, how he loved being a Marine, and I see you all in him, or I see him in each and every one of you. And it's even more special when I get to meet each one of you, because I feel a closeness to you, and I feel that you represent everything that he envisioned, everything that he desired to be, So I don't know. I guess I just draw strength from you all, and
And we do from you.
I'm here for you all. I'm sorry.
And we do from you. Absolutely. It's a wonderful thing. I'm trying to wrap my head around the strength it would take to be that selfless and to take your personal tragedy and turn it into something good for everybody else. Was there a moment in time when you thought to yourself, okay, I need to make sure that anybody else that goes through this has someone they can talk to, somebody that they can depend on, some kind of education to prepare our family members for that possibility someday? What was your motivation behind making the decision to be an outward force for that kind of loss?
I think it's just the pride that I have when I see each and every one of you, and I know how difficult your job has been, and it just breaks my heart that you joined the Border Patrol wanting to do that job, and I know your hands are a little bit tied behind your back. So it, I mean, if I can be a voice for you, if I can do anything for you, I am here. I am not going to think twice about it because I know that you do a lot of good. So I guess that's where I draw my strength from. But trust me, it's difficult. Just every day you get up and you think the first thing you think about is your son and how he should be here. Um, you try to get busy, but then you get a little text or a message or a phone call from one of you, and your day just lightens up. It's like, oh, there's my family, there's my son. So
That's amazing. It's amazing the relationship, how it's you draw strength from being part of this family, and we draw strength from having you be a part of us. And I want to take everybody back for a second to tell us about what it's like to have a son. I have two sons, both serving in the armed forces right now. And for those that don't know, talk about what it's like to be a parent of somebody that decides to answer that call and serve, whether it be in the military, whether it be law enforcement, whether it be the U.S. Border Patrol, whatever that is. How did you feel when Harvey decided to go into the Marine Corps and when he decided to join the Border Patrol?
well, it's you get a sense of pride, but you still know that there's that danger involved, and you want to say no, don't do it. But like with Harvey, it was something that he loved so much, and he just he expressed it at a very young age, and I knew that it was a good thing for him, especially with him loving it as much as he did. And then again, when he left the Marine Corps and he actually went to school and became a biomed engineer. But he saw you guys. He was working at Christus Bond in Kingsville, and he still kept looking at you guys. You guys would walk in with somebody, bringing somebody to the hospital, and it's like he was drawn to that career. He saw you guys, and he just wanted it so bad. And so when he came to us and told us that he wanted to join the Border Patrol, it's like, you know what? Do it. You're going to do it, even if we tell you no. But it's just a lot of pride. Of course, as a mother, you worry. I'm sure you worry about your sons being away in the military, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's like there's so much pride, so much.
See, and what I'm seeing right now is a mother that's doting on her son, but hiding behind that is that selfless act of, as a parent and especially as a mom, you want to protect your kid, you want to protect your son, and so it was a sacrifice to encourage them to go forward and do a job like this, because at the end of the day, when they go outside and they do whatever that job is, there's an element of danger involved. There's an element of risk involved. And you choose to live with that every day because you loved your son so much and you supported what he wanted to do. What is better than that? What's better? I mean, there's no greater definition of a parent and of a mom than that very act that gets made probably countless times a day by thousands of parents out there across the country. And you typify that. You did that even though you were worried. You were worried about when he joined the Marine Corps. You were worried about when he decided to join the Border Patrol because you knew what it possibly meant. But you put that aside and you continued to encourage him.
Right. It's their time. It's their time. And thank you. Please thank your sons for us. It's a great act on their behalf, and just I know you're proud. I know you know what I'm talking about.
I absolutely do, and it's I can feel the pride in your voice. I can feel it, in your emotion right now, just talking about it. You to this day, you're proud of Harvey and everything that he did.
Absolutely, yes.
So for the parents that are out there today that may be listening and they have children, whether it be boys or girls, that are deciding to put on this uniform, or they're already out there in this uniform doing the job each and every day. They're living with that worry every time they watch that loved one go out the door. What advice or what do you want to tell them?
Just, pray that God takes them to their job safely and brings them home to their families. It's the danger is always there, but we have to have faith that they will be kept safe on a daily basis. It's not like pray once a week and forget about it. No, it's an everyday. I mean, every moment that you think about them, you think about their safety.
So it's a normal thing. I mean, it's something that the families deal with. I like to say this whenever I'm talking to a graduation, or when I'm talking to a new class coming in, or even talking to a muster out in the field. We always have to remember that there's other folks beside us that are on this journey with us. And it's one thing to be the ones to go out the door each and every day and do these types of jobs, to be a Border Patrol agent, to be in the military. It's quite another to be that family member that watches their loved one go out the door. And I don't think, unless you've ever done that, you realize what kind of a sacrifice and just how tough that is.
Yeah, it's tough. Yes, definitely.
I in my whole career, for the longest time, I was the one going out the door. I was the one going out there on patrol, and it wasn't until I had my oldest son join the Navy, and I had to watch him go off and be deployed. Or I have my youngest son who's in the Air Force now, and I watched him leave, and I've decided that the tougher job rests with the family members that have to have to watch them leave.
Well, it's just as tough. Trust me. We only had the two boys, right, Harvey and Jordy. And when Harvey got out of the military, Jordy was going in. This was right after 9/11, and I'm over here like freaking out because these are kids that we really didn't want to let go out and sleep somewhere else or spend the night at their friend's house. It's like, no, if you want to, have a sleepover, bring everybody over here, that's fine. So I was worried like crazy about Jordy, and I told Harvey, I said, but he's never really been away from us. He's going to be out there all alone. And he's like, Mom, remember, I did that first. And I was fine. And he will form a bond with his Marine brothers, and everything's going to be all right. He's the one that calmed me down because I was like a total wreck. But, it happened that way. And after he told me that, I, sat down and I started thinking about it. And I was like, yeah, Harvey hadn't been anywhere. He had never traveled by himself. And now we had him going away from us, for boot camp. And it's like, who's going to take care of him over there? But he was fine, and the same thing happened. And he's the one that opened my eyes and said, Jordy's going to be all right. He was not going to be alone. And it's the same thing. And I think I remember talking about this one time at one of y'all's functions. And what I see is like Harvey said, you form a bond with your Marine brothers. And I see the same thing with you all. You join the Border Patrol and you form a bond. It's just one big family. And that brings a lot of comfort to a parent that's worried, about the safety, he's getting transferred to some other town where he has no relatives and stuff like that. But we know that you all have each other's backs. So it kind of, it brings some comfort to us knowing that.
And I can tell you, switching gears for a second, talking about it from the other side of the coin and being the person in uniform, I don't think there's words that can describe adequately the level of strength that we draw from our family members, the ones that actually are there for us and encourage us. You try and think about through the course of one's career, whether it's going through the academy or basic training and getting your first duty assignment, being on that probationary period, the first scary moments you have out in the field, or the first big seizure that you make, or the first rescue that you do. The very first thing you want to do is talk to your family, to talk to your loved ones, share it with them, because then it becomes real. Then you're able to talk about it. And so in that way, you're involved and you're part of this, and you are actually part of this family because you're sharing in those moments with us. How was that for you? How did being part of this green family become a reality for you? When Harvey joined and you started hearing about what his life as a Border Patrol agent was and the things that he was doing, what were your thoughts?
It's scary. I mean, Harvey was very private about his job. He didn't share a whole lot. It's like I literally had to pull it out of him. And but sometimes when I would read something in the newspaper or I'd hear about it, and it was Harvey was involved in it. I was like, oh my God, but it's scary. I mean, as a mother, as a parent, you worry. And the other thing that I need to add is that you don't just worry about your son or your daughter that's an agent. You worry about everybody. It's like you just wish that you were there with them to keep them safe. But I know we can't do that. I understand.
That's a great point. It's not just your loved one. It's all of their friends and their extended family. You worry about them as well, not just the one that leaves your door, right?
Right. It's you worry about it because the impact that the coworkers have. If something, like when, say for example, like when Harvey died, can you imagine what his coworkers were going through? It's kind of like the same thing with me and him. I know that it affected his coworkers. I know it, and a lot of, not just the coworkers, but the community. I see it. I've seen it. And so, it's the same thing with the rest of you. It's not just your son or your daughter. It's all of you.
Well, and so first off, yes, it absolutely, the impact, I remember it, and the way that we all felt when that happened, those two despicable individuals and what they did, and the fact that justice is getting served, I think is a wonderful thing. But here's you having just gone through that, and you're worried about how it's impacted everybody else. You're worried about how it's impacted his coworkers and his friends. You're worried about how it's impacting the community. Not just focusing on yourself, not worried about what you just gone through, but no, you're worried about everybody else. That is exactly what I'm talking about. And this is what you have demonstrated in your actions, Marie. You have been a staunch activist for our Silent Partner program in the United States Border Patrol. You have been to the U.S. Border Patrol Academy on numerous occasions supporting this program and educating our new trainees on what that is and what it means to take pride in this uniform and paying homage to the ones that have laid down their lives in service to this country. Now, for those of you who don't know, folks, the Silent Partner program is a program where each of us is assigned it's a silent partner, and it's somebody who has paid the ultimate price, that was killed in the line of duty. And we carry that silent partner with us for the rest of our lives. And our responsibility is to keep their memory alive, to honor their memory, honor their sacrifice. And in doing so, it reminds us of the legacy, not only as a Border Patrol agent, but as a law enforcement officer, that we are charged with protecting and safeguarding each and every day. And Harvey, his picture and his story appears on one of those silent partner cards. And so on numerous occasions, Marie and her husband, Javier, have actually come to the U.S. Border Patrol Academy and presented their son's silent partner card to a very lucky trainee in one of the classes. And if you don't think that drives home the point of just how serious we take this, imagine being a brand new trainee and standing face to face with some of the strongest people you ever meet who are saying, I'm entrusting you with my son's silent partner card. And as I'm doing this, I'm telling you, I worry for your safety. I want you to be safe. I'm going to be thinking of you always. And you just met Marie Vega. Now, Marie, I can't imagine how tough that would be. Was it difficult to come up here the first time and see your son's silent partner card? And what was it like to pass that on to that very first trainee?
It was an honor. It was an honor. It was, after learning about the silent partner card, it just, how can you not want to do it? This is that card is going to be the drive behind that cadets, or I don't know what you call them when they come in, trainees. Okay. That's going to be the drive. That's he's going to have a goal and he's going to have to meet that goal.
And those are big shoes to fill. And I think you feel that weight on your shoulders whenever you have that person's silent partner card, because you think of the sacrifice they made and you want to do right by it. It makes you want to do right by it. And there's times when it's not possible to have the families of the fallen actually visit and give the silent partner card to one of the trainees. And so Marie and her husband, Javier, actually wrote a letter to the classes whenever they can't be here. And Marie, if you'll indulge me, I want to read this letter because I think it's amazing. This is what's one of the letters. We have some other families of the fallen that participate in this as well, but this is one of the letters that our trainees will get from the families of the fallen during the silent partner introduction, when they're introduced to the program and they start to receive their silent partners. And this one is from Marie. It says, "Good afternoon, class. My name is Marie Herrera Vega, and my husband's name is Javier Vega. We're the parents of fallen Border Patrol agent Javier Harvey Vega, Jr. We'd like to congratulate you on your career choice of becoming a Border Patrol agent. In July of 2019, we visited the United States Border Patrol Academy, and we got a glimpse of the training you'll receive. We had no idea how rigorous the training was, but I know you can accomplish anything you set your minds to. Each of you will carry a silent partner. You're not only carrying our fallen son, you're also carrying families just like mine. Serve with all of your hearts and don't give up. To the new students that carries Harvey's card, carry it with pride because he served his country both as a Marine and as an agent. Harvey loved his country and loved law enforcement. Our son and your silent partner was an honorable man. Javier Sr. and I thank you, and we hope to meet you in person someday. May God bless each and every one of you, and may he bring you safely home to your families." And it was signed by Javier and Marie. What's miraculous about that letter, Marie? You're doing it for them. You're writing this letter to them, words of encouragement. You're telling them what it means to you when they carry the silent partner card. You're representing the other families of the fallen and the other silent partners. And you're telling these trainees, this is what it means when you participate in this program. This is what it means when you carry one of these cards. Not just anybody does that. And the impact, the reverberating impact that this has on the organization, on this agency, on this green family, because every trainee that graduates from this academy understands that because of you, knows that because of you, is carrying a silent partner and keeps this legacy alive. I wish there were more people like you that would stand up and do that.
Thank you. I'm sure you have a lot of families of the fallen agents that feel the same way as we do. I know sometimes it's very difficult to express our words and what we're feeling, and sometimes it's very traumatic, and but I can assure you that every family that has a fallen loved one feels the same way. It's you know there's no doubt in my mind.
For those that have experienced something similar, that have lost a loved one in the line of duty, and they're struggling with it, what advice can you give them? What can you do to help them navigate their way back to safety? What would you recommend, or what would you tell them in terms of how to climb out of the dark?
Oh gosh, I don't know what I would say, but like I've told other people from other agencies, and the Border Patrol as well, I am here. I am here, to be the shoulder that you need to cry on. I am here to listen to anything you need to say and get off of your chest. There's really no words that you can say to make it better or to change things. But I think that we need to be here for each other. And that's what Javier and I will do for any family that has suffered a loss like ours and has gone through something like this.
One of the things I think is true, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you draw pride from Javier's accomplishments. I think his service is a source of pride for you, and that gives you strength, knowing what he did.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, it does. I mean, as of yet, no one has ever told me anything negative about Harvey. I have had some of his classmates that go back to kindergarten or first grade that have actually reached out to me and have told me, you know what, I am very grateful to your son for everything he has done, because this happened when we were in first grade, or this happened when I transferred schools, or you know this happened when I worked with Harvey, and it just, gosh, I do draw strength from his accomplishments. Absolutely.
Is it also safe to say that, I think you said this earlier, but you draw strength from being a part of this family to this day, staying involved with us and seeing what we do and supporting us where you can. I've seen you do that. I've seen you, like I said, make trips to the academy. I've seen you talk to the trainees, and I know that you've talked to other family members of the men and women of the Border Patrol. You've chose to stay involved. Is that a source of strength for you?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So that's come with some actually really neat stories along the way, and I wanted to kind of highlight a couple of them. I know that there's a checkpoint near Kingsville, Texas, in Sarita, and a few years ago they had a congressional act that actually renamed that checkpoint in honor of your son Harvey. I bet that was a neat experience.
It was. We were really surprised when they reached out to us, and this was all his coworkers doing. So this is how much Harvey was loved. This is, what a good person he was. I mean, I have, what wrecking is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wreck. Well, I used to wreck. I haven't done anything lately, but I used to wreck with this group of veterans, and we had a few civilians in there. And I was surprised when they started a fundraiser to have a Javier Vega scholarship. And, I was so happy that they had chosen to do that. There was no need. They could have, started a scholarship for a veteran's family, or a fallen veteran, or, something like that. But they chose to do it in Harvey's honor and name. And even better was the fact that the actual recipient was the son of a Border Patrol agent.
Oh, wow.
And I had no idea. It's like, how did this happen? But that's how much Harvey was loved. And there's so many things that so many people are still wanting to do for him. We have one of his classmates actually dedicate a brick at the Veterans Memorial here in La Feria, here in town, and he reached out to me, um, and so I said yes, absolutely. And that's just one of the many things that people who knew him have done in his honor.
And that of course was so the checkpoint I know took place in 2017. So it's been a few years ago. And so now if you're in South Texas and you're driving north near Kingsville and you go through the checkpoint, that is the checkpoint that is named after Javier Vega in honor of his sacrifice, and that was done by congressional act. And you also have a relatively new member of your family. You have a retired member of the Horse Patrol, which is Vega the horse that you adopted and now provide a loving home as well.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, we're crazy about him, and he's such a smart horse, and it brings so much comfort to us knowing that he's with our family now.
So how long has he been with you?
Let me see, probably a month and a half.
And do you know? And if you don't, how many years of service did he give to the U.S. Border Patrol?
I want to say 5, but I'm not sure. I don't like to ask too many questions because it's like, okay, I don't know if this is confidential or but yeah.
Well, I just thought that was a neat story because was he named after your son and your son's honor?
Yeah, actually, Border Patrol, and I think it was KRTV. I'm not sure which news station was involved, but they held the contest, and then there was a lady, a nurse, that was actually a Border Patrol agent. At one time, she submitted the name Vega, and that's what was picked for his name, and so he was named Vega.
Such a neat story, and he comes home after a successful career serving his country, and now he has a loving home with the Vega family. How good can it get? And I see some of the pictures where he's being showered with affection, and you can tell he is one happy horse. And
the minute he sees me, it's like, oh, there's mom, and he heads right. He makes a beeline right towards me, and I usually have treats in my pockets, and all I have to do is say, "Give me a kiss," and he puts his snout out, and that's what you're talking about. All the kisses on his face, yeah. So he knows.
Well, sounds like a very lucky horse. It sounds like a very and well deserved for all of his years of service. And that interesting because we look at our the Horse Patrol partners and our canine partners as members of our family as well, and so it's fitting that they would end up with such a good family after they've given service to the country. It's truly amazing.
For thinking about us, and it's like, oh yeah, when they called, are you interested? Yes.
So Marie, we've been doing this talking, and I don't know if you've picked up on it or not, but time and time again, I've tried to steer the conversation back to you and your acts and your sacrifices and the things that you're doing, honestly, that have made our lives better. It's we are all thankful each and every day to have folks like you as part of our family, and what you do for us, it can't be put into words. But you know what's happened each and every time. You turn the conversation back around and you talk about your son again. You talk about what he did. No, but that just is a further indicator of the type of individual that you are. You're a mom, and at the end of the day, there's no better example to be celebrated for Women's History Month than a good mother, and that's what you are. That's what you have been. You're kind of our adopted mother, for the Border Patrol as well. And it's a testament to that you choose not to talk about yourself. Everything that you talk about is about what other people have done, is about what your son did and what people have done for him and the stories they talk about. You're there, and you're providing that strength behind the scenes, And I can tell it's not something that you feel comfortable talking about, the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, but I want you to know how much we appreciate it. I want you to know how much it means to us, and I want you to know how much we love you and how thankful we are for you. Is there anything that you would like to tell the new trainees that are going through the academy right now? What advice can you give them as they embark on this new journey, this new adventure? They become part of this new family that is the United States Border Patrol. And then what do you want to tell their families?
Well, to the new trainees, do us proud. This isn't just any job. This job should be an honor to anyone who even considers it. Go out and do your best. Go out and do your best. Do your families proud. And for the families, it's like I tell everyone, you have to support your kids. You have to be there for them. It's an honor being a Border Patrol agent, and it's a lot of work.
And it's easier said than done sometimes being supportive whenever you have all those worries in the back of your mind, right?
Right.
And I'm going to dovetail on your advice, and I'm going to talk to those trainees and the men and women that are out there today on patrol, and I'm going to tell them the opposite. I'm going to say, make sure you remember the sacrifices that your families are making each and every day too. When we get to the end of our journey, our career, and we look forward hopefully to a long and happy retirement, those are going to be the ones that are with us. Those are the ones that are going to be side by side with us in retirement and for the rest of our lives. Those are the ones that matter. These are the ones that matter. And I'm going to talk to the young women out there that may be listening. If you're looking for role models and you're looking at who is worthy of being celebrated during this Women's History Month, look no further than your own mother, than your own sibling. Look at your own daughter. Look at people like Marie Vega and what they do each and every day that doesn't get a lot of notoriety, but the world absolutely would stop spinning without them. Those are the people that we need to look up to. Those are the people that we need to be thankful for. And Marie, I can't tell you again how much of an honor it has been to have you talk with us today and share your experience. And I'm so thankful for you, and I look forward to what you do in the future to keep Harvey's name in our minds and what you continue to do for the men and women of the United States Border Patrol. Thank you so much for being on.
But before we go, could I say something?
Yes, absolutely.
Earlier you mentioned trailblazers, Christine Davis, Carla Provost. And can you imagine how tough it was for them when they first started?
So it's funny you mention that, because Carla Provost is also going to be a guest on this next podcast for that exact reason. Absolute trailblazer, the very definition of a trailblazer.
Yeah, and we have so many agents. Marlene Castro, you have her there. Christina Salinas Smallwood, Jessica Ramirez. I'm just in total awe of these women. I can't imagine what it's like to juggle family, a marriage, work, in such a demanding job. It's a tough job. And these ladies, they do it. They do it every day.
That's a great point and a great closing statement, because what we're talking about, we affectionately refer to as the fearless 5%. There are about 5% of the U.S. Border Patrol that are female, that are women, and they are a group of people they are forced to be reckoned with. They are absolutely the best at what they do. You talked about Carla Provost, the very first chief of the U.S. Border Patrol, female chief. You talked about Christine Davis, the very first female in the United States Border Patrol. And all the others of the Fearless 5% that go out and do this job each and every day, do it well. And they represent the very best attributes of the women of this country. So great point. Marie, thank you again for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for another episode of What's Important Now. We'll talk again soon. And until then, stay safe out there and honor first.